All right. Now we're going to make Mom's apple pie. Not my mother. We could only get her to go to the supermarket. She couldn't cook.
They need a couple of sheets.
Okay. I'll give you a couple of the formulas.
You're done with this?
Mm-hmm. You want it?
I'm going to have a piece.
You want to take it home?
No,
And some more.
I'm just going to have a little piece.
Okay.
Publix, you know.
So first we're going to start with 5 quarts of ice cream mix. I'm going to get that ready.
Okay.
Steve, that should be what's in here.
Okay. You only used half of that.
Well, wait, but it looks
a little
like
short.
much less is missing. What happened?
I don't know.
We
I'll go-
made,
Let me get another bag.
What
I'll
do we
be right
make?
back.
Just I used it, right?
no, we made, the lemon, this.
Move along, little doggy.
Yeah. How many of you guys have seen, heard of Lifetime? I'm sure everybody has, right? They always put out Christmas movies and Lifetime channel. Well, fun story is our machine was actually in one of those videos, and it was called Christmas a la mode. Of course, they had to block the Emery Thompson name off, but it was our machine. So it's about a dairy farm, and they needed to save their store. They were going to go under, so she was trying to think of ways to come up with ice cream flavors to save the farm, and one of them was the apple pie. So she grabbed the apple pie, and you can see her in the movie taking the spoon and just scooping the whole apple pie right into the machine. Did you see it? You watched it? I haven't watched it yet. I've watched like clips of it, but did you know it was an Emery Thompson when you saw it? All right, well, it's the only one,
Which machine?
Christmas a la mode.
Boy,
it's a cute
honing
movie.
in on my stuff.
I know, just for today. Oh, for gosh sakes. Two
have-
of you. Get out.
Come on.
I'm sorry, folks, you can't see this. My 2 golden retrievers just came in.
Stella.
Sammy, Stella, come on.
Stella.
Paula, we need your help. We have a dog alert.
Stella.
All
All
right.
right, let me
Goodbye.
wash my hands
They
again.
keep
Let's do this
sneaking
one
in.
more time.
We try. We have guests. Okay.
You suppose we could start over again?
Yes, I think we really should. This really, are you ready to retell the story?
Retell the story. It was a one-time thing.
Okay.
Ken, fix this, please. Thanks.
Okay, so,
Fixing that one.
Yeah, he can. Ken can fix anything.
all right, well, we're going to make Mom's apple pie ice cream, and we're going to use real apple pie, the ice cream blend, apple pie filling, vanilla extract, cinnamon, and sugar. You want to tell the quick story?
Sure.
Again?
Again.
This is take 2, by the way.
How many of you have seen the, Lifetime? Everybody knows about Lifetime and their movies. One of them was Christmas a la mode, and it was a dairy farm trying to come up with a way to save their farm. And their dairy and their ice cream store, they were going under. The bank was coming to take it. I'm sure she could probably tell us more about it since you've seen it. And anyway, so she took the apple pie and I'm going to make apple pie ice cream. So she picked up the pie, grabbed the spoon, and just started scooping it right into the machine. And they made a whole bunch of apple pie ice cream, sold like crazy, and they were able to save the store. So that's the story. So be sure to watch that come Christmas time.
So Emery Thompson is everywhere, including Lifetime movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me just sneak in here.
All right, so what did you get?
I've got the mix ready to go.
You need the vanilla.
Okay. Always make sure the gate is closed. That sounds a little strange, but the last thing we did over here was to make ice cream, to take the ice cream out. So the gate was like this. We took all the ice cream out. Then we went and did other stuff. So now I get a phone call because you're pouring the mix in and you say, the machine, expletive deleted machine leaks all over the place. It's going everywhere. And I say, did you close the gate? And you look down and no, it's open. So every time you walk past your machine, just go like that. Make sure it's closed. Otherwise, you're going to have a mess. And like we said in the earlier video, if you raise this up
for sugar.
like that, it's easier to pour in and you won't spill any. Okay, the start of apple pie ice cream. Next we add the vanilla.
Here's your sugar.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to turn on, you're ready to go, right? Mm-hmm. Putting the pie in? Okay, I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to let it run at homemade. So we're going for that. I'm going to turn on the refrigeration. I'm going to start freezing now. My timer has started. I'm adding a little bit of sugar there because I think every apple pie I've ever had needed a little extra sweetness. And this is cinnamon sugar that Christi's putting in. We won't need the poppy seeds.
You want to start doing that and I'll break up the pie?
Okay, this is just apple pie filling and topping. And because the openings are so large on the Emery Thompson, we don't have to puree it. We can just put it right into the machine, right out of the can. Don't try this with any other machine because you won't get it in there.
Whoops.
Whoops is not good in ice cream making.
I put some on the floor.
Oh, the floor wanted it. Okay, that's one can. Now the second can. Now this is adding extra sugar to the formula. So if this was vanilla, I would expect my freeze time to be about 8 minutes. But now we're adding all this sugary pie filling, and sugar takes longer to freeze. That's why Italian ice takes longer than dairy ice cream because of the high sugar content. And we're also going to add a whole pie to it. So that's going to add...
Is there enough room?
Yeah, there is. That'll make for
You want me to do
even extra. Yeah.
Oh boy.
So the freezing time is going to be longer.
This is always the best part. It's fun.
No, the best part is when we're not filming and we're able to eat some of the pie filling before it gets into the machine. But live on camera, we can't do that. One little trick that'll save you plumbing bills. When you rinse out after some flavors, like say chocolate chips or pistachios or anything like that, 99% of it's going to be in your ice cream, but a small handful, just a little bit of pistachios might still be left in the machine. Go out and buy a spaghetti colander, put it in your sink, and then when you rinse the machine out, you take the rinse water and pour it through the spaghetti colander. Because if you're making 20 or 30 batches a day of ice cream, eventually you're going to clog up your drain. But if you pour the drain water through the spaghetti colander catches it and it doesn't clog up your drain. Just a little trick. Any questions so far? Three-phase versus single-phase, water-cooled versus air-cooled, anything like that?
Can you go over all of that, please?
No, it's too much.
Can you go over one of those?
Yes. All power in the United States of America, Canada, and Mexico is 60 hertz. That's the vibrations per second, and 220 volt. In other countries, over in Europe, the vibrations per second of the electricity is slower. It's 50 hertz. So they are two different animals. We build the machine to the country it's going into. We hand make all our machines, and then we take it a step further. We find out where you are, what city, what your voltage is, and then we build the machine to that specific voltage. So you might see on our literature, as might say 60/50. That just means your machine in the USA or in North America will be built 60 hertz, just like everything else you buy. But if you're overseas, if you're in Saudi Arabia, if you're in South Africa, if you're in Indonesia, it's going to be 50 hertz, and we'll build it to that. Our voltage here is 220 volt, and it's what's called single phase. That's what's up in the box over here. And electrician refers to it as 2 hots in single phase, 2 hot wires and a ground. That's actually called single phase. I call it 2 wires that can electrocute you really quickly, plus a ground wire. And that's in every building in North America. In your house, in your apartment, the power comes in as 220 volts, and then your circuit breaker box breaks it down to 110 for your TV, for your blender, for your light bulbs. So you have single phase everywhere in America, so you want machines that are single phase. We build both single phase, and then this other thing called 3 phase, which is 3 wires that will electrocute you, plus a ground. And I have it here in my factory because we're using a lot more megawatts than you'll ever use in your house. And it allows me to bring more power into this building than you could ever have in your store by using 3-phase power. Now here's the problem. 20 years ago, we would lie to the power company and we would say, hey, we're not going to just put one of these in, we're going to put 3, 4, 5 of them in. You'll never need 5 machines. We're going to put in 5 machines, we're going to buy a lot of electricity from you, and we need you to bring in 3-phase power so I can run all these extra machines. The power company says, great, we're going to make a lot of money selling these people a lot of electricity. Nowadays, they're not building any more power companies. We did, power stations, not much. We didn't go nuclear. We're getting rid of coal. So now, instead of saying, oh, great, we want to see you run 5 machines, they're saying, tell us how much power you want, we'll give you 80% of what you requested. So what used to be free to bring into your building is now $90,000 to bring it in from the pole, or if it's just down a few buildings. So all the other machines on the market are built in 3-phase power. You don't have 3-phase power. You don't have $90,000, nor is it worth it. It'll never pay it back. So what they tell you to do is you've got to buy a separate unit for $3,000 called a phase changer. And it converts single phase into 3-phase because they only build in 3-phase. Those things burn out. They don't work well. You can't run the machine hours on end. So it's better. The bottom line is don't play that game. Buy single-phase equipment like everything else in your store, and it'll run forever just fine. Air-cooled versus water-cooled. The CB350 next to Christi only comes air-cooled because it's a smaller compressor. It's 2 horsepower. And it's not going to throw a lot of hot air into the store, so we build it that one way.
There's enough hot air in your panel.
Yes, there is. Yeah. We build the bigger machines in air-cooled or water-cooled. 90% of what we build is water-cooled because everybody has water coming into their building, and an air-cooled machine is going to generate a lot of heat, a whole lot of heat. And how do you get rid of it? You get rid of it by air conditioning. So you're paying the power company all this cost because they're getting you for the electricity and for your air conditioning. So water-cooled is preferred, but the only people who buy air-cooled are you're in Saudi Arabia, you're in a desert country, and water's not available. You're down in the Caribbean where they're dependent on rainwater off the roof, or you're in Boston and you're on a septic tank. Instead of city water, all your wastewater goes down the drain into a big tank out in your backyard. And we don't want to fill that big tank with fresh water. It's a waste of money, so you buy an air-cooled machine. So water-cooled machine is much quieter than air-cooled. It generates 0 heat, costs $1,000 less to buy. So when you ask those questions, the bottom line will be you want to buy single-phase water-cooled. That's simple. and it will run anywhere in North America that you want to go. You could run it in your living room if you wanted to. Any other questions? Gee, everybody's full.
They just want apple pie ice cream.
They just want apple pie ice cream, yes.
We're definitely going to have to watch that movie.
Yeah. And like I said, with the higher sugar content, it's going to take a little longer to freeze. So when people say, how long does this batch take? I say, what are you making? And that gives me the answer. If you're making a Philadelphia Italian ice, a Philadelphia cherry Italian ice, on this machine, it might be as long as 19 minutes, 20 minutes, whereas normally it would be 18 minutes. On the little one, it's 14 minutes. Because the Philadelphia, remember I had said in a previous video that Philadelphia has more sugar in it than New York. They like it smoother and creamier, and we add more sugar. I'm using cherry, so I've got fresh maraschino cherries in there, which are adding more sugar compared to lemon ice.
Yeah. I think we are okay. What do you think?
Yep, I like
All
it.
right.
So Christy just turned off the refrigeration, and she's going to pull it out, and we're going to need a lot more tubs.
You gonna use that one? I have this.
Okay. Remember, that's a 12-quart machine.
I just need one more for the dripping.
Again, these I get at gelatosupply.com. If you use the code Emery Thompson, you'll get a 10% discount.
Ready?
Yep.
All right.
And we'll just let that get the last
You
bit
guys
out.
made my area.
And that's it. That's how fast it was. We've got apple pie ice cream just that quickly. Any questions?
Not over.
Right there. Oh! No, it was.
Really close. There you go.
If you have any questions, Jeff's going to take over in a second. Christy is going to be leaving. If you have...
Always going to hell.
Yeah. Yeah. You can reach Christy at emerythompson.com, me, Steve, at emerythompson.com. And you're welcome to call. We have technical service 7 days a week, based right out of here, out of the factories. The head of it is in the next room, Mike, and he hates it when I say we have technical service 7 days a week. Because,
Love it.
yeah, love it. But so anytime you have a question, you just call us. Like I said, we're in 171 countries, and being 116 and a half years in business, we've heard everything. So whatever you think is a insurmountable problem is something that we've heard before, and we'll get you up and running. Real fast one on that. A now retired basketball player, Malik Rose, San Antonio Spurs. He's now, I think, still on ESPN. But Malik has or had a number of stores selling Italian ice. And he called me up one Saturday night and said, Steve, my 5-year-old machine is banging and clanking and making all sorts of awful noise. What's wrong with it? And I asked a few questions. I always ask, when did it last run right? And he said, well, it ran right 5 minutes ago when we were making lemon ice. I said, what are you making now? And he said, we're making cherry ice. And I said, okay, Malik, taste the cherry ice that's in the machine. Tell me what it tastes like. He tastes it and he says, oh, Steve, it's awful. It tastes like cherry juice and water. I said, yeah, you left the 7 pounds of sugar out. So there's nothing to freeze. You are literally just making ice cubes with the machine. So there was nothing wrong with the machine. It was strictly a matter of, he forgot, the person making the ice forgot to put the sugar in. And so that was about 8:15 at night, and by 8:20 at night, he's back up and running.
You get an autograph?
No. If it had been any other company, you would have gotten them probably on Monday, maybe Saturday night, I don't know. But they would have said, we'll send someone out on Monday. That someone would have come out and changed an expansion valve. It's a Freon valve in the machine. That's all they know to do. They changed the expansion valve for $250 plus $250 labor, and then they say, let's make cherry ice. and you mix up the formula and you pour it in and it runs beautifully. And you go, oh, wasn't this wonderful? I was only down for 2 days and it only cost me $500 and I'm up and running. There was nothing wrong with the machine. It was they left the sugar out of the formula, which I have done. I've done everything. So our technical support is beyond belief. We've just heard amazing stuff. And usually, Mike, once in a while they let me answer the phone, especially on weekends, because nobody else wants to. We'll have you up and running in 5 minutes. And that's terrific. That's the kind of service we do. We do it because we're a family business. We treat all our customers as family. I said that to a guy a month ago, and I said, by the way, can I borrow $5? 3 days later, I get a $5 bill in the mail. He took me seriously. So I had to send him back $6 because he loaned me $5. I had to pay him interest.